there, my name is Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And Screenrant has been on a roll for the last week or so with Doctor Who articles that are just ridiculously bad. I mean, really, listen. If you screw up publicly and, you publish an article that is just insanely inaccurate and, belies a complete lack of knowledge of it, I would say, the smartest thing to do is don't go ahead and do that exactly again. And they do it over and over again. The first one was like 10 things that wouldn't fly in Doctor Who, in the past that wouldn't fly today. And then they did another one with Martha Jones. Then they wouldn't fly with Martha Jones, and then they did one with Donna. I tried to read it last night in a live stream. I got into the first one. I was like, oh god, this is just too stupid. It's too stupid. But something interesting happened. They posted an article called 10 Things That Wouldn't Fly, 10 Things with Rose That Wouldn't Fly Today, or something like that. We're about to read it. But they posted it, and then they took it down straight away. But this is the internet. This is the interwebs, and somebody managed to get a PDF of it. So we're going to see what exactly is Screenrant embarrassed about, right? Like all the other stuff, which go see my other videos, have just been embarrassing. I think the only way to describe it has been embarrassing. But what are they embarrassed about? That I really genuinely want to know. So I haven't read this yet. We're going to be reading it together. Before we get there, can I ask you guys, can you hit that subscribe button? That would be fantastic. Thank you very much. I am what am I up to? I'm nearly up to 1,600 subscribers. I need I think another 20. If I can get 20 people to subscribe, that would be absolutely lovely. Oh, by the way, don't forget to join me tomorrow night where I have an explosive live stream on Thursday with somebody called Eva, who is a very very outspoken person on Twitter, who has the polar opposite views from me on everything, and we're going to be having a conversation, a debate, maybe, I don't know, but come for that. I think it's going to be fantastic, okay? I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. But subscribe to the channel. I just went off on the side. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. If you subscribe, of course, you can win any of my fantabulous, wonderful prizes. And the prize this week is, of course, the Talons of Weng, Chiang special DVD special edition 2-disc set. This is, I think, the second release they did of it with like a ton more stuff. It's freaking awesome. And it's a great Doctor Who story if you've never seen it. If you've never seen it, what are you doing? Go and watch it right now. This is like, Robert Holmes and Philip Hinchcliffe's, swan song. They're the denouement. What we need to win it is subscribe to the channel, and in the comments leave the hashtag Mr. Sin. Mr. Sin, go check the video notes. You can just copy and paste it. Fine, so let's look at this article. Where is it? It's I go here. There you go. I'll turn this on. And Doctor Who, 10 Things About Rose That Would Never Fly Today. Again, this is what Screenrant's embarrassed about. So colour me intrigued. Fine. Rose Tyler was a popular companion in Doctor Who. Here, one second. I put the thing on the other side. Okay. This article is on my screen, but it's also on the screen here, right? Obviously. But I put it on the screen where my face was. So in essence, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see me. I couldn't see the article. Okay, fine. Let me move around. Fine, that works out. Rose Tyler was a popular companion in Doctor Who. Perhaps I think one of the most popular. Certainly in the revival. I don't know. Was she more popular than Amy Pond? I mean, all I know is my daughter, who's 19 now. I just remember a little tear-stained face when Rose left, and she was trapped for the Doctor. Oh man, that was wonderful. It was like so tragic. But yeah, no, everybody loved Rose. But not everything about her has aged well. Oh really? Let's find out. What's the bit problematic? Okay, we love it when something's a bit problematic. When the renewed popular British TV show Doctor Who started in 2005, the first companion who joined the Doctor in his journeys across time and space was Rose Tyler. And I know the name Rose Tyler was one of the first ideas that Russell T Davies had. He mentioned it like when he was talking about doing Doctor Who a couple of years earlier. I believe there's a very good article that Doctor Who magazine had about what to do to bring Doctor Who back. You know what? Dang it! I'm going to do a video on that. That's something worth revisiting, because I think we're basically in the same situation now. Let's see what anybody's learned. Yeah, I'm really into that. That's what Doctor Who magazine used to be, what I like to call readable. Not so much anymore. Oh boy. The first guy I do was Rose Tyler, and very much, she was the audience entry point into Doctor Who, and it was a very different Doctor Who. Russell Z, especially that first season, Chris Eccleston one. I always call it Shameless meets Doctor Who, because that's essentially who it was. What it was. Honestly, I don't think it's been done before or since, but it really worked. It really, there was an idea to do something similar with Sylvester McCoy. Eddie got like a fourth season that the his companion would be like a cat thief, like a cat burglar, like a high class cat burglar, and she was the daughter of a crime boss, right? Of a crime boss who was bored being like a good girl, wanted to be bad, and so that's basically what they did that in the Big Finish did a season with that. I don't think she was cast so well though. He didn't. I don't think it really worked. But the idea was good. But the really good bit about the idea is they did one story in the 60s with Ace, which was like her farewell story, and then the next one was in the 80s, and they had the same character, the same gangster in it, but now he was old, and his daughter took over. Anyway, I digress. That would have been a really that would have been a really great companion. That's actually, again, not a terrible season. Big Finish did it. The missing stories, lost stories. Rose Tyler was simply an ordinary girl, but first she managed to achieve many extraordinary things with the help and helped the Doctor save the day more than once. That is true. She became his companion basically when she swung down and knocked the anti-plastic out of the Alton's hands, killing them. Maybe committing genocide. I don't know. Was that the last Alton in the world? I didn't really think about that. She then left at the end of the second season, but shortly came back later. As all fans will know, Rose remains one of the most popular companions of the show. Not only because she was the first one, but also because she was relatable in many ways. She really was. I mean, Ross D. Davies, I think he does really well, really fantastically well, is realistic families, like great families that you love, and you love everybody in the family. Like, I just think Ross D. Davies must be a great person to like be around families, because he just obviously clearly loves families. However, there are also things about her that wouldn't be as well accepted today as they were 15 years ago, because today people like you, people who write this article, are crazy, and it's okay to walk around being crazy, because crazy people are everywhere. Number 10, she left her mum behind. Well, this is basically what children do, and it's the empty nester syndrome. This is like, that is good and healthy for children. The parent shouldn't really have a problem with it. Actually, ultimately, she didn't. That was where the story ended up. She left her mum behind. Truth be told, Rose's mum Jackie wasn't always easy to get along with. Jackie's wonderful, okay? Jackie's wonderful. She was terrible. She was flirty. She was a bit boozy. I disagree. Jackie was always great to get along with. Listen. She's not a good person to piss off, but she's a lot of fun to get along with. But she loved her daughter even more so once she lost her. She loved her daughter even more so once she lost her husband in an accident. Raising a kid on one's own is never easy, but Jackie managed it, and she deserved a bit more consideration. Oh, will you shut up? Yeah, whining from Rose. No, listen. Look, I'm a parent of 4 kids, and they're all like my youngest now is 17, and they've all grown into growing into adults. And listen, if you give somebody a gift, right, the best compliment that you can have is somebody using that gift. That should, if you're not a weirdo, like fill you with joy. If you give somebody a gift and they use it, and they get pleasure from it. That's wonderful. So, the gift you essentially give your children is life, right? You give your kids life. They're not going to be alive without. And also, you look after them, you raise them, whatever. But basically, you give them life. And so, the thing you want to see most from your children, is your kids using that gift, using life. And again, that doesn't mean they parrot you in everything, in every decision. In fact, the more my kids do things differently from me, generally speaking, the happier I am. Because again, that just means that they're their own people. Which is what I think any vaguely sane parent wants out of life for their children. So fine. So this person clearly doesn't have kids, and maybe isn't a kid. Maybe they were born from a test tube because they're a weirdo. Okay. If Rose wanted to leave and go on an adventure with the Doctor, fine, but she could have at least told her mum she'll be away. Listen. She didn't know when she left. She thought she was going to come back exactly the same moment. When they came back, she thought everything was fine, but it was a year later, and it was a really clever idea. Okay, it was one of the cleverest ideas from that 2005 season. I love that. This person's a moron. She let Mickey take the fall. She didn't treat Mickey so well, but again, her imperfection. See, this is the problem. This is the problem in entertainment today, in television today, that you've got to have representation. And representation, there is no representation in TV today, right? There is no representation. The only people represented are the blue check marked, granola eating, Guardian reading, that teeny tiny clump of insane people. They're the only people represented on TV because they're the only people who like what's on TV. There is no, yes, you do have lots of black faces on TV, but you don't have any black representation. You don't have any black culture, black heritage. You don't. You just have tokenism. So these champagne socialists, these champagne swilling socialists, the Twitterati, they just love tokenism. They feel tokenism does the trick. They freaking love tokenism. So they fill every piece of entertainment with tokens. Like fill it with tokens, with women, with men, with black people, with Asian people, whatever tokens make them happy. But here's the thing. They can't then have those tokens be presented in any way negatively whatsoever. So if somebody does something that makes them human, that makes them three-dimensional, like Jackie Tyler. Jackie Tyler, freaking awesome character, flawed character. Like all great, wonderful people are flawed. They can't allow there to be any flaws. So I understand that Rose not being perfect wouldn't fly today, because she's a woman and she's in a protected class. That's why all entertainment today is dull as freaking ditchwater. Speaking of the way Rose treats those closer to her, she also wasn't much of a girlfriend. Listen, 19-year-old people are generally pretty darn selfish. And I think that came up pretty well. I think that just made her a normal 19-year-old girl. I don't think she was particularly malicious. She was just like a normal person. There's nothing wrong. Okay. It soon became obvious that Mickey was much more in love with Rose than she was with him. Well, he was a bit more of a pathetic character in the beginning, but then he had something called a character arc. He became better. He became more than he was. But again, you can't do that today, because if you do that, that means there's some imperfection. That's something that's not perfect about your characters, which makes them boring, right? And again, Russell Davies, great writer, doesn't make boring TV. At least generally, no, I can't think anything he did that's boring. Sure, she liked spending time in his company, but the second she got a more exciting offer to travel around space and time with Doctor, again she left and didn't say a word. Again, I think that was a good writing choice. To break it off with Mickey would have been the kind of thing to do, especially when Rose disappeared for a year. Again, moron, have you even seen this show? For God's sake, it's only disappeared for a year. And everybody suspected Mickey of having something to do with it. That was, again, just a real great piece of realism. She was mean to Sarah Jane. Yeah, she experienced petty jealousy, which is great. Listen, the Doctor's demonstrated petty jealousy before. Have you ever seen his reaction to when Jo Grant said she's leaving to go up the Amazon with What's his name? I can't remember what the first name was. Dr. Jones? Really? Was it? I don't think it was that Dr. Jones. Again, it wouldn't fly today to have somebody in a protected class acting as a human being, which again makes everything you do boring. Sarah Jane Smith was a former companion of the Doctors. I'm surprised you know that. Who told you that, idiot? And these two reunited again. No, they can't. They didn't reunite. They united because they didn't meet each other before this. In the second season of a new Doctor Who, but the potential, unless they were reunited with the Doctor, not with Rose. Okay, go ahead. But the potential joyful reunion was somewhat spoiled by Rose, who behaved in an unsavory way. Again, she's Rose Tyler. She's not Mother Teresa. You know, she's an interesting character. And that jealousy was great. It really, really worked. This is everything that made Doctor Who good, that made television good, that is lacking today, that makes television bad. When she found the Doctor had previous commanders before her, she was quick to tell Sarah Jane that the Doctor had never even mentioned her, even though that Rose knew perfectly well would hurt the other one's feet. Yes, exactly. I just think this is written by somebody who lives on Twitter. She is one of the Twitterati who they just love. Okay. This was from your boy Zach. It's a great YouTube channel. He described these people as being grievance Pez dispensers. Like, you take one, they open up the head, boom, there's a grievance come out, and then there's always another grievance loaded up. They're all if you live your life that way and you want to have grievances constantly. This is what you get. This insanity right here is what you get. 7, she was jealous of Martha. Listen, Billie Piper was jealous of Martha. I saw her as Jonathan Ross being interviewed after she left. And she said, so what did you think when you saw David Tennant with Freema Agyeman on the cover of Doctor Who magazine? She's I was so jealous. I wanted to rip it up. And I love that, because it makes her human. You know, again, being human. Well, I have to tell you, SJWs, generally speaking, don't human very well. So they don't understand it, right? I'm so glad who was this who sent me this? DBS sent me. Either DBS or DSB? And now I've got to look it up. DSB sent this to me on Twitter. He was on my live stream. Thank you so much. This is freaking awesome. Sarah Jane Smith isn't the only companion who Sarah Jane Smith isn't the only companion whose case shows Rose's bad behavior. That's a bad sentence. I tried to do an SJW voice, but their bad use of grammar threw me off. Rose can be jealous. Rose can be a jealous person by nature. She showed it when the Doctor spent time with Renette, aka Madame de Pompadour. She showed it with Sarah Jane Smith, and she also showed it with Martha. I don't actually remember that bit. When they were dealing with the reality bomb, Martha appeared on screen to communicate with the Doctor and help him. Rose's reaction was, "I was there first." Really mature Rose. Exactly. Really. It said she's a human being. And also, she wasn't. Oh God, she wanted to keep the TARDIS for herself. Yes, again, a flawed three-dimensional human being who you fell in love with. Is everything going to be the same in this? More precisely, basically, so far everything is like, but Rose wasn't a Mary Sue. But how can you do that? More precisely, Rose wanted to keep the Doctor and travelling in TARDIS for herself, which was a bit selfish from it. Yes, she's a bit selfish. She was a selfish 19-year-old. Although I tell you, I've been rewatching since from the beginning. We're doing it each week. I do it on the TARDIS zone on Sundays normally. Honestly, she's got 2 more episodes to go. She hasn't become like super selfish, which I kind of remember her being. She's just a normal 19-year-old woman. Oh my God. It was a bit selfish from her. It's understandable if she didn't want a complete stranger in the ship. No, it was more unsettled. She didn't want somebody who she knew quite well in the ship. But when her own boyfriend asked to join the Doctor and travel alongside Rose, she was less than excited again. made it great. It made it great. Any good girlfriend will be happy to have a boyfriend with her, but Rose. Okay, this person has no relationships, right? She doesn't have kids, doesn't have a spouse, doesn't know how to interact with anyone, because they think that any time somebody's not perfect, they're wrong. Oh no, it's not going to fly. It's not going to fly, is it? Oh, no. Oh, God. Any girlfriend would have been, but it was clear who have a boyfriend, but Rose, who was clearly in love with the Doctor at this point, just maintained a long face instead. Again, she had no goal in life. That's the point of the freaking. Rose is a proper example of what happens when a fictional character undergoes some serious development. When a story starts in the show, most 19-year-olds don't know what they're doing in life. Yeah. When a story starts in the show, she has barely any goals in life at all. Yes, true. She hates her job. She hates her job in the shop, and it looks like it physically pains her to get up every morning and go to work. Yeah, no, again, that's what that's what life is like for most people. Most people don't go to work and go, hey, most people go to work because they have to, right? There's a bit of a drag for most people. Listen, if you go to work, if you do work that you're happy doing, it's one of the biggest blessings in the world. And especially when you're 19. She had a boyfriend she sort of liked, except not really. No, she liked him in that context. She liked him, It was, but like when her world got much bigger, Mickey was just too small for it. Her life is basically everything. She got to a point where, oh, that'll do. This job, yeah, it'll do. I need a job. Here, Mickey, that'll do. He's kind of a laugh. Yeah, it'll do, right? And then the Doctor came along and opened up her life. They say that's what the Doctor's supposed to do. He's supposed to uplift people, make them transform their lives into being, the best version of themselves they can be. That's what the Doctor does. And in this particular case, this was a massively PTSD Doctor who Rose inadvertently cured. In essence, Russell T Davies made two characters that absolutely needed each other, and the Doctor uniquely needed Rose, and the Rose uniquely needed the Doctor, and both of them were flawed people and damaged people. Again, which is fine for the Doctor because he's a man, he's a white male, but for Rose, no, she's got to be a Mary Sue. There's nothing going on in life, and Rose herself is doing very little to change it at first, which doesn't make her an inspirational heroine. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, it's there's a debate in rabbinical Bible study, right? That if the characters in the Bible were always like all the way through were like the pinnacles of human existence, or are they on some kind of journey, and do they grow and do they change, right? That's the essential question. I prefer the latter one because it makes a lot more sense. It makes a lot more sense that people, human beings grow and change. I think that's probably the point of life. But not to this person. Rose had to start as a perfect person and end as a perfect person. They want her to be a Mary Sue. It's basically it. It wasn't like, no, she's not Mary. And you know what? The author of this garbage is absolutely right. It wouldn't fly today. She threw away a chance at education. Okay, let's see what I don't remember that. Okay. One could argue that Rose could have had fared better in her journey with the Doctor if she had a bit more education. Oh, so now she's too stupid. What the hell's wrong with you? When she finished school, she was still very young and didn't go to university. Instead, she traveled with the Doctor. No, she left school at 16, like the vast majority of this demographic. She left school at 16 and went to work in a shop. Again, like the vast majority of this demographic. She had street smarts but little besides, and that was the point, the character. And that combined with the use that sometimes clouded her judgment and made her act irrational and in an immature way. She was 19. Really? No. It's like somebody going back through the tweets for 20 years or however long, 5 years, and they see what you said in 2007. I said, yeah, I was 6. Yeah, well, it's the stupidest thing. She messed with the laws of time. Yes, she did, because that was who Rose was. Again, not a perfect person. But the fact that this wouldn't fly today just shows you why entertainment is so dire and so boring today. Rose seems to have a talent for doing the exactly the opposite of what the Doctor tells her. Like every freaking companion said, now stay here, don't wander off, and they wander off. Sometimes it works with this, sometimes it doesn't. But I think that's what the Doctor likes, somebody who is a bit independent. But when she decided to save her dad from dying, she took it one step too far, and the Doctor was so pissed he left. Remember? That was a great episode. Paul Cornell, just a stunning Doctor Who writer. Hasn't really written anything else that's anywhere near as good as his Doctor Who stuff, and he's a bit of a major douchebag in social media. But yeah, go figure. But that episode, Father's Day, freaking perfect Doctor Who. It was understandable that she wanted to try and save her dad, but she should have known better. We're very disappointed in you, Rose. Do better. She was traveling with the Doctor for quite some time at this point, and she saw a lot of things happening. So when the Doctor told her not to mess with history, she should have trusted him. Oh my God! But isn't that like being told what to do by a white male? Isn't that bad as well? You see, these SJWs, they have so many freaking laws rules they crisscross each other all the time. Number 2, she was willing to let the universe collapse when the Doctor came to say goodbye to her in a parallel universe where she was stranded. Rose wanted to come back to her original universe, but when the Doctor explained that both universes collapsed because of this, she didn't care. She was a 19-year-old girl. I don't know what to tell you. Yes, this is what... Okay. You know, oftentimes when us old boomers look at the younger generation and go, you kids are idiots, right? You kids are idiots. Yeah, we did that in 2005 as well. Okay? Yeah, this is normative behavior for a 19-year-old girl. And obviously, what has changed, though, in the world is that when a 19-year-old has a tantrum, you don't, back in 2005, you didn't, acquiesce to that tantrum, right? Now, when a 19-year-old has a tantrum, racist, now people somehow listen to them. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why, but they do. Yes, she was a 19-year-old and she made a bad decision, and the Doctor didn't listen to her because he was older and a little bit more grown up. In other words, Rose really didn't care about that millions of people would die just because of her desire to be with the Doctor. Again, this person has no children or any relationships whatsoever. She complained a lot. Oh, really? Well, geez, it sounds exactly like you. She complained a lot. That's what, really? So let me get straight. Is complaining a lot a good thing or a bad thing? Because I've just read you complain for this entire freaking article. Rose had a sense of humor and a lively nature which helped bring the Doctor out of the darkness he was drowning in after the war. No one can deny that. Well, okay, good one. We're not trying to deny it. But these are the reason why so many people liked her. But she also had a tendency to complain aloud and a lot every time something wasn't going the way she wanted, or when people behaved in a way that she didn't like. Okay, I don't know where to go with this one, because the irony of it is a little bit breathtaking. You don't like a complaint. I mean, let's just say this again. I say this again. Every time something wasn't going the way she wanted it, or when people behaved in a way she didn't like, she complained. Who is it in society does that now? Could it be you, by any perchance, little Miss Twitterati? Oh my God. Okay, I can see why Screenrant was a bit embarrassed by this and took it down. Maybe they're saving this for, a big bank holiday weekend to save her. I don't know. But yes, this has been a fun voyage into insanity. My name is Celia Beckett, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.